As we saw last time, the Victorian farm was a very busy place. Not just for the men, women and children working in the fields. The farmer's wife worked very hard too.
During harvest time, not other times, but harvest time she would. And you know, on the smaller farms, it would only have been the farmer and probably his son or one helper, you know. And so she would have done that, and it would have gone out to the fields. They wouldn't have come back.
Victorian farms also relied on lots of local crafts and trades. These were found in most villages or local area, including the Yorkshire Wolds. Even small villages on the Wolds had lots of skilled tradespeople living and working in them. Blacksmiths. Here's their numbers in different villages in 1901. Now there are none.
When we get the hoop on, which will shrink on, we're heating the iron tyre or hoop up to red hot, and it'll expand enough for us to get it over this wheel, and then as soon as we get it in position on the wheel, we douse it with cold water.
Turn over. Just get it. No, fit that way. That way. That. You tap it down, Albert. Up and down.
Like a factory.
Hey!
Well done.
Hello, my name's Neil Johnson. I'm the miller at Skibby Windmill. I've been here for about 4 years now, and I'm going to talk to you today about windmills and their importance in the rural economy. The importance about this mill is that more or less every single village throughout of the East Riding area about 200 years ago would have had a mill like this, or a post mill or a smock mill. It was probably the central point of the actual village, and the most important people in the villages or in the towns would have been doctors or priests, and then the next person down from that would have been the miller himself. At this particular moment in time, Skibby Windmill has got a broken shackle. So on the sails here, you can see these brass coloured clamps. They are actually shackles for the sails, and they pin the sails to the iron cross on the front of the windmill, which supports those sails. One of ours is cracked at the moment, and it actually did drop off, and the other remaining shackles on the sail have got hairline fractures in. That normally wouldn't have been a problem about 150 years ago. They would have just gone to the blacksmith down the road and gotten to make some new ones. But in modern day, we haven't got blacksmiths anymore really. There are specialist blacksmiths out there who do metalwork, but they're few and far between now. So the room what we're stood in at the moment is the stone room. It's called the stone room for obvious reasons, because we've got 3 sets of big millstones in here. This room's actually like a manual gearbox. In the middle here we've got the main spare wheel, and that's driven directly from the sails. As the wind blows and the sails are turning round, through a beveled gear system at the top of the mill, it transfers one direction of spin to another direction of spin down here. Grain coming in from this chute, which travels into this hopper here, and in the hopper we can fill that with about 75 kilos of grain. Usually we use wheat. That goes into this little shoe here. So this shoe, we can control the flow of the wheat by lifting and lowering this little slide, and that will feed the stone proportionally to the speed what it's travelling at. So as the stone's spinning round, this mechanism is on a spring. It pushes it away from itself and then pulls itself back, and doing so it shakes the grains just enough to drop them into the stone. The eye so, you only need a little bit in these, and then what we do is just simply turn the handle. As you can see there, it doesn't take very long for the wheat to start coming out, this flour. So,
grocers. Victorians certainly supported local business and enjoyed local food. Have a look round your school. Can you find where any of these trades may have been located? Look for clues. Or you could ask your parents or grandparents. What trades are there in your village or local area now? See if you can find out.